So we have had a very peaceful and relaxing stay here at Balmacara Bay. Given how open it is, it was, like a mill pond all night, which was really nice. Got a good night's sleep. It's about 12 o'clock now. We've had to wait because A, we didn't want to rush off this morning, and B, because we're heading south with Kyles of Rhea, and it was until now that the tide would be in our favour, and we are in springs at the moment, so which means you could get a maximum of sort of 8 knots of tide through there, and our little motor won't push us through that. So in theory it should be in our favour now. Plan is we're going to head off to Eigg, or Eigg, however you say it, which is a little island, or fairly decent sized island to be fair, a little west of Malloc. About 30 miles I think you said, Joe, isn't it, to get there?
Yeah, I plotted the route in this morning and it's about 30 miles.
Yeah, so a fairly decent trip to get done. Hopefully the wind should be in our favour, so hopefully we'll be there early evening. Yeah, so enough chat, enough hanging around, enough coffee drinking. Let's pull up the anchor and get the show on the road. I brought up a lot of seaweed, a lot of stinking mud, but we are now on the way southward to Eigg. So we've made it through to the other side of the Kyles. It was alright, wasn't quite as dramatic as has been before. Made over 10 knots at one point, which makes sense with a 3 or 4 knot tide in our favour. Pretty wild whirlpools, particularly on the way out. It feels like you're drifting in the boat, where it just keeps turning violently one way and then the other. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Still motoring. We've got the head sail out just to give us a bit of a boost. It's a bit touch and go on the wind, and we've got a long ways to go, but I certainly will be killing the engine at some point soon and seeing if we can just kind of make enough progress on the sail. We're not going to get there too late, but yeah, it's a bit of a decent breeze in our favour, so hopefully we will be able to. Skylar's still outside, which is unusual for her, but I'm sure she'll be heading down below into a little safety hole before long. But I think she's pretty tired. It's pretty stressful, tiring being the captain slash ship's dog. I mean, these humans that never do what you want. I'm sorry, Bobby, we try and do what you want, but sometimes other needs take precedent. I know there are other needs than yours. It's crazy to hear. But yeah, so still got 25 miles to go, but yeah, making decent progress, so hopefully we will have a good journey over. Right, so we've got both sails up. Just got the smallest reef in the main. Winds are quite gusty from the side, and we're getting almost 6 knots right now. So yeah, I don't really feel the need to put any more up, particularly as two of our crew are not up for the most exciting of sailing, so I'd rather it be nice and steady, a bit of a more relaxing day than like stressing ourselves out, stressing the rig out, etc, etc. So yeah, hopefully we'll keep the speed up, get to say in about 4.5, 5 hours at this rate, so yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, hopefully it's going to be a beautiful sail.
We are 10 miles down and we still have another 20 to go. It's actually alright at the moment. I am starting to get a bit cold, so we'll see how long I actually manage to stay out for today. But it's quite pleasant, really. It's not raining, the swell isn't too bad at the moment, and yeah, we're making really good progress.
So we've just left the relative shelter of the Sound of Sleat. Still got a little bit of land sheltering us, but I think we're probably open enough sea here that we're seeing what it's probably going to be like. It's certainly a lot calmer than when we left Mallock heading north. Wind's still good, still on the same tack as we have been for a couple of hours at least now. We are just coming up on 10 miles. We're just coming up on 10 miles and an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours to go. Still pulling along nicely at 6.4 knots right now, which is pretty good. See, we've got a heavily reefed main. Yeah, it's been a great sail so far. I'm hoping it's going to continue. Egg is appearing out of the mist more and more as I make our features. So yeah, like I say, still about 10 miles to go, but yeah, making good progress. Goes down below, just making us some soup. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. I'd say I'm not going to get there till about just after 6 probably, so yeah, bit of soup now, some dinner when we get in. So onwards for a couple more hours and then we're going to figure out where we're going to anchor. Someone's woken up and realised it's almost dinner time.
We are just about to go into anchor, so we've decided to go into the northern anchorage because we're not too bothered about being like by the harbour or anything like that, or with where all the other boats are. So this one looks to be a bit more sheltered and it is currently empty, so hopefully we'll have it to ourselves, which would be nice. So we're just coming in now, and then we'll drop anchor and regroup and see what the deal is.
Out to go too far. Is that
3.2.
full of beans all of a sudden. Yeah, Pops, you're full of beans. Clearly somebody has slept off her tiredness, but full of beans, usual for this time of day. And she's just got herself soaking wet just before we go back to the boat, which is lovely. Yeah, fascinating beach though, like it's got this weird sort of patterning, it's super smooth. Yeah, you've got this kind of white and black striping on it, but when you actually scrape the ground, it's just black underneath. So I'm guessing it's the, I don't know, crushed up shells or whatever that's floating to the surface of the sand. But yeah, very interesting colours. Come here, pups. Yeah, well, I guess I didn't tie the dinghy up properly because it's floating away right now. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Well, glad I didn't take Skylar too far, because I would have been swimming instead of just wading up to my thighs. See you, Skylar. Bye. Stay. I'll come and get you. Well, that was exciting. Literally, like, I looked back where the dinghy was and there was nothing. Oh, that was amusing because I just had a conversation with Joe about how neither of us are able to. Oh, hello, Bobby. Neither of us are able to pull the dinghy up when the motor's on it. And I said, oh, you know, you just beach it and keep an eye on it. Well, I did, but I didn't keep an eye on it. Hence, I was lucky because, if I'd have spent another minute or two over the brow of the hill just there with Skylar, this dinghy would have probably been out through that channel, and wouldn't have just been a case of getting a little bit damp. It would have been throwing off my jacket and trousers and swimming for it, which would have sucked because it's freezing. Oh well, all's well that ends well. Head back to the boat, open up a nice beer and start relaxing.
Yeah, really happy we got here. It was a really nice crossing actually. I didn't get too cold in the grand scheme of things, and we pretty much sailed all the way here after we got through the Kyles, so probably did over like about 23 miles of sailing today, which is pretty good. So yeah, we're just gonna chillax now and catch up again in the morning. The following morning, Skylar and I headed to shore to fly the drone over this stunning anchorage.
So it's time for us to move on. Got the engine warming up. It was an alright night. It's a little bit exposed here. It was a bit rocky, despite the fact that the wind was coming from the land side, but I guess there's this giant open ocean behind us that can generate enough swell. But yeah, it was fine and it's calmed down, and as predicted there's no wind today, or virtually no wind. So we're going to head off down to Tobermory on Mull. It's about 20 miles or so. Looking around, I'm not sure we're going to get much sailing done today. I think it's going to be a mainly motor day, but that's fine. We've had a couple of really good days of sailing, so don't mind an odd day of motoring, particularly if it's calm and very little wind like this. We should make good progress. We're not going to be slogging along at 2 knots. So yeah, nice to have visited here, another island. But yeah, time to head that away. So we're making pretty decent progress. You can maybe see the point behind us. What's that sort where we turn into the sort of northern sound of Mull. Still a good 15 miles or so left. We're on motor, got the sail out as you can see. Not sure it's doing much, but it's not hurting, so might as well keep it out. Yeah, it's super glassy, super peaceful out here. Quite nice, but yeah, if you have like 10% more wind so we could sail instead of using the motor, that would be nice, but it is what it is. Out of all the sort of fairly bouncy rough crossings we've had over the last few days, this one it's kind of nice to have a bit of a break and just drift over this beautiful oily sea. But yeah, nice. We're still a few hours away from Tobermory. hopefully we can get in there. It's kind of a first come first serve, and we're going to be late in the day arriving, so might not get in, but there's a lock across from it, which if we can't get into there, we'll find somewhere to anchor in there, and we'll, I don't know, eat whatever we can find in the bottom of the dry stores box. We're good for food for a couple of days. Water's getting a bit short. I think the main tank's down to probably about 25-30 litres at most, and we've got probably 6 to 8 litres of drinking water left, so we are going to have to go somewhere at some point, but we could survive another day if we needed to. Yeah, we'll keep pottering on. If anything interesting happens, I'll let you know.
Over the halfway point in our journey today to Tobermory, and it's been quite nice. Obviously there's not much in the way of wind, so it's a bit of a slow slog, but we have got the sail out and it is helping us. We're sort of averaging about 4.5 knots, which is nice, and yeah, and it's the first time it feels like it's been warm in more than a week. I think the last like nice warm day we had was the day we got to Maleg, which was over a week ago now. I am still in my 2 coats, but I actually feel fine, like comfortable, which is, yeah, I haven't felt comfortable being outside temperature wise for, yeah, over a week, so that's quite nice to feel that. And hopefully, I mean, what have we got? We're still 7.5 miles out from Tobermory. Currently it's saying just under 2 hours to get there, so hopefully that's the case. I mean, I am hoping that we might get a little bit of wind or tide in our favour to speed us up a bit, but yeah, making good progress, and it's a lovely day.
So we've turned into the Sound of Mull. It's took about an hour and a bit before we're going to get to Tobermory. The wind is very light and behind us. We've still got the sail up, but it's sort of flopping around a bit. However, I've decided that this would be a good opportunity for me to have a tryout of our whisper pole. I've been lugging it around for the last month and a bit without touching it or using it, and I'm not sure if it's going to make much difference today, but I do just want to have a sort of fiddle with it, play with it, try and figure out how best to use it, so that, you know, in the future, if we want to use it, the option's there. So hopefully this isn't going to go terribly, but yeah, we'll see, I guess. Okay, well that went up okay, I guess. Water seems to be giving us probably another half a knot of speed. With very light winds behind us, that's kind of expected, but yeah, we can probably turn off the engine now and You know, we'd certainly lose some speed, but we would probably keep sailing, which is kind of why I just want to try it out now. We're only about half an hour out of Tobermory now, so I'm not going to bother sort of turning off the engine, stuff like that right now. But yeah, I think that kind of works pretty well. The sail's not all the way out. I think in hindsight I probably need to extend the pole a bit. But the problem is that when it's going forward, if I extend it, it's too long to reach. Or it goes out too far to reach the head sail. But then, yeah, so I don't know. I'll have to figure that and have a play with that at some point. Ooh, big weight coming. Hope they don't fall in. But yeah, it's good to get it set up, see how it works. Yeah, hopefully if we ever get any light downwind sailing to do, we can put it out and yeah, make proper use of it. So we made it into Tobermory and managed to grab one of the last two spots, it seems, in the marina. Yeah, which is awesome. So we're tied up, we're in a pretty shallow berth, but should have about 50 centimetres under the keel at low tide. And if not, we're tied to a pontoon so we can't fall over. Anyway, we better go and get ourselves checked in and figure out what's what. And yeah, we'll check back to you in a bit. Everyone exists somewhere on that.
So we decided to have an early dinner as we didn't really have lunch. So that means we've got time now to come and go on this, well, it's a 2 kilometre out there, so 4 kilometre there and back. Walk out to the lighthouse here at Tobermory, which is going to be pretty nice, I think. We're just hoping that there's not going to be any midges this time of day. Well, that was a lovely walk out here to the lighthouse, and if you are ever in Tobermory, I do highly recommend coming out on this little walk. It doesn't take too long at all, and it is incredibly beautiful. But we're going to head back now and get some ice creams. Join us next time as Skylar and I explore some more of Tobermory. We go on a trek for some gas and then head to the stunning Loch Eilean.